Okay, episode 1 of this thing. It's an audio-visual thing. I don't know what to call it yet, because I don't think it's going to be a podcast straight away. But it's called FIKANI, and FIKANI in my language means welcome or come inside. And I decided that on Monday. This is a Friday. But the whole point was I wanted to make it clear that people were welcome, and there's no discrimination here. You can say free speech, basically, and we're here to learn. Honestly, this is a place, a safe space, kindness, bants. I'm gonna get into it because I'm not really good at intros, but what we're gonna do is every week, every 2 weeks, depending on productivity, I'm going to pick a topic. It's usually just going to be one word, and I'm going to have a guest, and we're going to talk about that thing, and we're just going to see where it goes. So today's topic is gender. Okay, not a light topic. It's going to be interesting, hopefully. And my guest today is Kosh. Kosh, I don't know your last name. I know that your full name is Kosh Asai. Yeah, but tell us more about yourself. Where you're from, what's your major, etc.
All right. My name is Kosh. Monosyllabic. That's how I like to roll. Like Zendaya. Shout out Zendaya.
Is Zendaya whatever? No, it's not. Zendaya. That's 3 syllables.
It's not monosyllabic, but it's like just a person who's known by one name.
Okay, I get it.
It's like mono known by one name.
Okay,
that's how I like to roll as well. I study epidemiology and biostatistics. Go Google that. It's a very interesting thing. If you are listening to it during the COVID times, we're basically the people that are saving your life.
Oh.
Subtle flex there. Anyways. I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. Love the place. 263. That's
you.
Yeah,
okay.
that's you. Quite simple.
When did we meet? We met
in
first sem.
Late August 2019.
Yeah.
Orientation.
And we've been friends ever since. It wasn't an easy start. We used to argue about a lot of things.
Is it?
Okay, not argue, but we were on 2 different ends of whatever spectrum we were discussing. So we'd always find ourselves in the middle of a very heated conversation.
Like where to squeeze the toothpaste bottle in it.
Definitely, that was one of
You were one of those squeezing from the middle. I'm kidding. That's like
Shut up. Nah, but I think I chose you for the first episode because as much as we don't agree on everything, I actually respect what you have to say about issues.
Santisano.
Yeah, okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so do you know what gender is?
Right. So we discussed this literally right before she started talking. Well, she started recording. And I don't know, I thought I'd get a Merriam-Webster Oxford Dictionary definition, but I guess, just in my years of living, people are born, well, medically, right? From what I've learned studying epidemiology, is that people are usually born either male or female, and then later on in life, as they mature, as their brains become to maturity, they then get to pick their own gender, their own sexual orientation, how they would like to identify sexually.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So but just like there are multiple genders, there are multiple sexes, right?
To be honest, I'm not too sure.
I mean, you have male penis, then you have female vagina, but you have people who are intersex, right?
Well, I guess, but then usually one should become more dominant than the other during puberty, and I guess as someone grows older, I think they then end up choosing where they want to lean more.
So what, do you go get surgery?
You could, maybe. That's an interesting topic.
Because I've watched a couple of videos and stuff of people who are intersex and they would not want to change that. Like they are comfortable having both male and female parts.
Yeah, well, I guess then that's them, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, that's...
And then there are people who are... Anyway, we're talking about sex. We're meant to be talking about gender. How do you identify and what are your pronouns?
Me, I am a cis black male. Yeah. That's the correct thing to say,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I get what you mean, though, because I feel like in today's society, it's so hard to make a mistake when talking about these things. But
yeah, but like, don't want to get cancelled on like episode 1.
Exactly. But like, we're all learning. I don't know. It's just Twitter. I blame Twitter.
And TikTok.
Yeah.
And probably Instagram. Yeah.
And woke people. Okay.
Ish. It's just episode 1, man. Like, let's...
Anyway, sorry. And what does your cultural background have to say about gender? So, you're from Zim.
Mm-hmm.
Are you Shona?
Yeah, Shona Nguni, yeah.
So, do you guys like refer to each other as he and she, or is it just person?
Yeah, it is quite defined. Obviously, most of all languages, I guess, every language, I'd like to assume, correct me if I'm wrong, has is separated by gender, right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, in the Shona culture, right, you have like the boys would usually stay in like their own place, and then like the girls would usually stay in their own place, and like the boys would usually do like their own activities, and the girls the same thing. But in terms of in general, it's just, you know, just like the normal thing, you know, how like I'd say, oh, Theola, she is wearing black jeans, or Kosh is wearing, or he is wearing black sweatpants. I guess, yeah, that's pretty much it.
How it is.
Yeah, but there are, sorry to cut you, but like there are quite like neutral pronouns. I guess, you know, like just to describe like a general person. Oh, that person over there is, hair is looking like a porcupine. Things like that.
I feel like that's so interesting because like, and you use the word normal because I feel like in my culture, so for those of you who don't know, I'm Malawian, yeah? And I belong to the... I'm half Lomwe, half... Is Chewa a tribe?
I got no idea.
I'm half Lomwe, half Chewa.
Big reveal.
Yeah. But I feel like for us, it's never been really he or she. I don't know. But there are things that happen, like traditionally, like how you're saying men are separated this way, women are separated that way. But if I'm talking to a friend, I'll say iwe or ukutani, which those aren't gendered pronouns.
It's like, oh, this person.
Yeah. And then also I read that the Dogon people from Western Africa, that area.
Shout out Dogon people from West Africa.
Yes, when like they don't really see gender when you're born, so you're said to have a, what's it called, like a dual soul. So you have both masculine and feminine, whatever. And I know in the US for some Native American tribes, you have like two spirits. Which is really interesting, because I mean I wouldn't say that I'm strictly one or the other, because my pronouns are she, they, or they, she. Sometimes I prefer they.
So I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
No, it's just I feel like I don't even know yet, you know. I feel like I'm perceived a lot as a woman.
Yeah, well, like you look like a girl.
Yeah,
you sound like a girl.
Yeah,
so,
and then
technically guys would be like, oh.
But then I meet like people in the community, the LGBTQ community, and they see me and they just know. they just know, and so they use they with me, and I kind of really like that sometimes. And people told me that I have very masculine energy. I don't know if
guys, you guys should see Theo. You guys should see Theo take what she has to. Go to her Instagram page.
I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have an Instagram page? Go to a Twitter page. Type yourself up.
I don't know what my Twitter is about.
Okay, fine. She'll tell you that all that stuff like at the end.
At the end, yes. Which
To a continue. Let's
yeah.
go on.
Wait. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're like super. I'm tired. Gosh, are you tired?
Dude, I didn't sleep. But that's not the topic for today.
Okay.
Topic for today.
We were. You didn't drink last night. I did though.
Nah. I took.
But
no, I didn't.
he did not end up home. Let's just say that.
Designated driver, guys. Come
Yeah.
on, like, I have to be.
Anyway, point being, next question, probably the last question. How do you think we as a society can understand gender better, both personally and as a society? And then also, how do we accommodate like all these new, identities, etc.?
First things first, I genuinely think that a lot of people get into things without knowledge of, right? Like, I'll be completely honest, I'm not too well versed in LGBTQ plus things. Yeah, I'll openly admit that. I'll need to read into it. So I genuinely do think that people need to, especially if you're like older, right? Like, I'm in my early 20s. If you're in your early 20s, guys, read on it. Just read on it, It's there. It's staying, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
It's there. Like,
if you're homophobic, this is not the century for you.
nah, this is the century for you.
If you're homophobic,
So you learn, and you move on.
have you met a homophobic person?
Dude, most of our
like to
grandparents,
learn.
like most of our grandparents, that's what I'm saying. Because there's a great cognitive dissonance within the older. By the way, Google what cognitive dissonance is, guys. This is a highly intellectual thing that Theo's going to be running.
I'm gonna take notes. Cognitive
Dissonance. Yeah, but people need to get into things well versed. Guys, read on these things. Read on them. There's so much information, like historical information. Read on them. Don't let like a bunch of people come up to you and like
tell you.
Yeah, and then like dictate, whether it's either people from the LGBTQ community or people that are not. Don't let them come up to you and say, yeah, this is this. The actual people that have conducted studies on these things. And yeah, it would be great if you could just spare your time, read into it, get to know it better. I genuinely do think that like by the time we're in our mid-30s, so in about like a decade and a half, things would have eased out a lot more because we're now growing up with it from about like a young teenage-ish. English is gonna fail us today.
We're in our 20s. We're what now? We're not teenagers anymore.
No, I'm saying we grew up from like an early teenage age, like with the real LGBTQ plus. We grew up hearing that and like seeing people from that community, and then by the time it's like 2035 to the 2040s, it'll just be as normal as it is.
Don't you think the community's always been there? Like, I don't think it's when we were growing up that's when the community...
Oh no, it's definitely been there, but in terms of like more knowledge of, I like to say, exposure, like where, it's now not like, I want to say under-revered. I don't think that's a word, but it's not like I also want to say revered. I'm not sure if that's a word.
Well, let's just make them up. They're there now.
Yeah, revered. We're making up words. But then in terms of integration, it obviously takes time. Everything takes time, and the unfortunate thing is there have been people that have been like really, really pushing for full integration probably since the 70s, probably since...
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Yeah, maybe even hundreds of years, who knows. Like the women's movement, man, it's been going on for such a long time.
Still...
Yeah, and like the guys are still grinding, guys are still grinding.
Yeah.
The guys like my mom who work at Feminet, go check out Feminet's Instagram.
Shout out his mom, actually.
Yeah.
His mom is like...
Yeah, Memory Kachambwa, hit her up on Twitter and Instagram. Guys, please. It's for my pocket money. It's for my pocket money, guys. The student budgets. But getting back to, it does take time for integration. And I think that the 20s are going to be a great pivot. I don't know, the 2010s were a great pivotal point to start with.
Pop culture.
Exactly, and then 2020 is like the next step. 2030, it'll just be there. So, yeah, I genuinely think that
I think also looking inside yourself, like you said, don't just, how do I say this? So like people come up to me sometimes and they perceive my gender based on how I appear.
you act, yeah,
Right? And sometimes I'm inclined to just go with what
with
they
what they say.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I think also looking within yourself and having boundaries and saying,
Boundaries,
no,
that's a good
guys,
word, yeah.
I know I give off very masculine energy or whatever, but maybe I really identify as a woman and I would like if you would just,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, that's I think a big thing. Listen, and like no one's perfect.
Oh. Are
Maybe
you?
except for the host. Like,
No, not even.
yeah,
Very
but
far from.
but yeah, no one's perfect, and even guys in the LGBTQ plus community, everyone makes mistakes, you know. So again, guys, read into it and like just
Also, give yourself time.
yeah, exactly, exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I wanted to say. Like,
Don't
just
expect to wake up tomorrow and be woke, because then
yeah,
you're gonna be
man.
one of those fake woke people.
Virtual signaling. Ooh, this one's a big one, guys. Like, let's write this one down. Virtual signaling. Let's not do virtual signaling.
Which is
Virtual signaling is I'll use the example of, since we're tackling a very heavy topic, I'll use the Black Lives Matter movement from last year, right?
yeah, or Me Too.
Or Me
Right?
Too movement. Okay, I'll use the Black Lives Matter.
Let's use that one.
Yeah,
That's for safety.
Yeah, safety. Virtual signaling would be, for example, the big BLM movement that happened last year really felt like the straw that broke the camel's back when George Floyd was killed. So virtual signaling would be people who don't exactly like want, or they just, it's like being an airhead for something, it's like, oh, I'm supporting BLM because everyone's supporting BLM, and I just want to like
of the
trend
hashtag.
on, yeah, because of the hashtag, it's trending, it's what's in. But I'm that type of person who's like, oh yeah, I've got like a couple of black friends. Or to use the Me Too movement, it's like, oh, but like I'm not like misogynistic or anything like that. But then at the same time, like you're the one who's going around marinating broads, purposely marinating broads, and being like, yo, I want to get that girl drunk, so that at the end of the day.
Question, by the way, do you like call out your friends when they're doing that?
Oh yeah, 100%.
You do?
Yeah, 100%. The thing, oh yeah, let's get into this just a little bit, please.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Let's get into it.
Right? A lot of girls would like to see boys upfrontly coming out and say, come here.
That's how you do it, with those sounds.
No.
Anyway, yes.
No,
yes.
I do watch anime, by the way. But no, in general, pulling them aside and sitting them down and being extremely stern with them. Just being extremely stern with them, saying, listen, this isn't right.
Has it helped?
Yeah, it's helped. Because then, like, the other thing is men are testosterone filled, and if you do like a little bit of biochemistry, testosterone is highly linked to adrenaline. So when you come at a guy quite aggressively, his natural instinct and incline is fight back instead of flight, right? But when you approach him from a, hey, listen, I'm going to be extremely stern about this, right? There's a little bit more understanding. And yeah, that's what it is. Like you just sit them down, you're extremely stern with them, and it's not like you're giving someone chances. It's like, yo, it's this, let's stop, let's move on, right? If they've been, and again, this is like so off topic, but also in like degrading people for like what they genuinely think. Like I'm Christian, and oh yes, here's where I get cancelled. Let's go.
Because of the Christianity?
Yeah, being like, because everyone is like, oh, Christians.
I feel like you can also get cancelled for being non-Christian. Yeah, you can. By the way, I'm not 100%, like I don't even, so I'm on the spirituality end of beliefs. So I feel like you can also get cancelled for that, because you tell people like, I know you're zodiac, and they're like, yo.
Yeah, like I'm not too much into that zodiac stuff. Yeah, but like just getting back to it, if you're gonna go out there and like start degrading people for like just who they want to be and stuff like that, I genuinely think that's wrong because it's not leading from a point of love. And maybe in a later episode, we will continue on the train that I'd started before. But yeah, just.
But how do you expect people to respond? Like, how do you expect people to lead with love when all they've been shown for so long is hate?
That's what the cognitive dissonance is.
But like, okay, so as a woman, right? Of course, do I want to teach men? Not really. But sometimes it gets exhausting. I feel like it's easy if you're looking from the outside in to say, well, women, we need you to lead with love because that's the only way we're going to learn. But from someone who is in that position, it's so hard because all you want to be is like, yo, fuck you guys because you've been drugging girls and fucking raping them. Like, we're tired.
We're going to censor more sensitive
audiences.
But listen, I do get where you're coming from. I do get, and a lot of the conversations that happen around like younger people and gender usually butt heads because of literally what you just said, right? Because you're a girl and you be like, but this has happened for such a long time. But now the thing is, like you literally said, a lot of these guys genuinely don't know. That's the thing about it.
I feel like they know, but it's kind of a lifestyle. Do you get it? Like if you've been living a certain way for so long, it's hard to then say, I'm going to gravitate away from
I'm
that.
going to change. Yeah.
You get it?
Now that's where the lack of knowledge.
They know, Kosh. Don't even. They know.
Believe me.
You know how many times
a lot of them actually don't.
I'm not allowed to say his name, can I? No, because I haven't asked him.
Are we gonna name drop?
One of our friends, you know him.
Here we go.
He's like he's homophobic. As much as he wants to say that he's not, he is. And you know, you talk to him about it and he's like, I don't mind if you're gay, just don't be gay around me and stuff. And it's like, no, bro, you're homophobic. And so he knows, he has the knowledge because obviously I've taught him and I'm still teaching him, right? But he's so used to that lifestyle of I'm a man and that he doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to, unless he's getting pussy out of it. Then I say, yo, you know, then he's all like, yeah, I'm woke because he wants, you know.
Girl on girl action.
But it's okay. I think
is it though? There's another hit that came out of there.
He's ruining your, you know.
Ruining my what?
He's ruining
my what?
Your narrative.
This whole. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, guys, the most important word from here is cognitive dissonance. When you're trying to teach someone something new from a lifestyle, like Theo is saying, that they're trying to break, it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard, and you literally have to approach it the same way you'd approach a child.
How old are they? Anyway, I think I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I think also on my part, it's practice. It's being patient.
Yeah.
I guess that's the whole point of this thing is we're gonna have conversations like this. You know, like I said, you know, I might not agree with the guest might not agree with me, but
let's fight. Ding ding ding.
But it's having that open space, you know, to have those conversations that we're not having on Twitter because we're scared of being cancelled. You know,
guys, listen. If you're one of those people that hop on cancelling other people just for like whatever reason, right? You do you. Till the day they cancel you, you continue doing you.
I'm not going to say anything on that. I feel like cancel culture is okay to a certain extent.
It's okay when calling out people. For example, guys, please watch the movie Bombshell. Charlize Theron, Margot Robbie, and Nicole Kidman came out in 2018. I really love that movie. Yeah, look at the Harvey Weinstein story, right? Some people genuinely need to get cancelled so that they won't do it again. Now, let's look at someone else. Now, if you don't know this person, you can probably Google them, but they're about to become one of the most famous names on the planet. Logan Paul, right? Logan Paul went to Japan.
I know he does fighting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out Logan Paul. He went to Japan, did something super dumb, and since 2018, he's been on a great redemptive path. He was cancelled for it. The thing about cancel culture is it doesn't give a redemptive path. So, for example, this friend of ours, he can get cancelled for saying
He could. That's why we didn't say his name. Sorry.
right? But then now, once someone becomes educated, like, let's say Theo breaks through, when, like, does the cancel culture give space for redemption? That's
Because
yeah,
you know that
that's the
person
toxicity
doesn't
of
die.
the
Yeah,
culture,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They live on. They still have a life. So, are you going to let them be a better person, or are you just gonna
Yeah.
kill them? I guess I feel like that's what cancel culture is. Basically, it's like saying we're gonna.
It comes from like a lot of rage and hot take. A lot of people in the LGBTQ community, because of
That's one, Kosh. That's one.
I have to say, because of like the constant like being hammered down throughout history and stuff like that. There's a lot of pent up anger. Can't lie about
Yeah,
that.
same with women.
Yeah. Like same with like a lot of. There's a lot of pent up anger, and now that conversations are starting to happen, people are putting on their boxing gloves and they're going iron mic on people. Bing, bing, bing. Right? None of that. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. It's charging like a rhino. And really, I like to look at myself as a conscientious object. Or I try, right? It's like peace, not war. Sometimes war is necessary in certain situations, certain dire circumstances. But if you can always find a peaceful way to talk to someone, to reach out to someone, to break through to someone, please always take it.
That's the lesson of today.
Yeah.
I'ma try. I mean, I'm not like a peaceful person. Well, okay.
They say dynamite comes in small packs, people. That's what I'm gonna say about that.
That's him saying I'm small. Anyway. Okay, let's like wrap up. So if you've listened this far, first of all, you're gonna be a day one, like a fan.
Yeah, you better, because we're gonna know where you live. And we will follow you. Yeah, like that whole Liam Neeson line, guys, is like, just
Anyway, okay, so as we wrap up, Kosh, please, we would like you, me and all the different identities within me, all of them, all 5 of them within me. Yes.
Guys, can I just say? I'm scared now. 5 people at once. Guys, I'm scared. I'm scared.
Anyway, the me with all the different, pronouns, etc. Would like Kosh to give a shout out to an artist that he thinks deserves recognition, and we will put in editing. We will put the album cover, and then we will at them. Maybe they'll DM us. We don't know.
Hey, so many people. Shout out Beatty, 100%. Kenyan female rapper, young, like.
And we're in the 254, by the way, if you listen to this.
254, Nairobi, Kenya. Yeah. Shout out Beatty, man. Like, there are not a lot of African female rappers that are coming up there, and she's gonna go far.
So, am I going to go far, Kosh?
Absolutely not. This is one and done, guys. I'm sorry. No. Definitely. Not to speak for Theo, but obviously to speak for Theo. I am her advocate, by the way. So, I'm a great lawyer who does everything. I'm capping. What I want to say is the conversations are going to get more riveting after this.
They really will.
Yeah. We're going to bring on,
hard shit.
And hard people.
Drugs. Jokes. Oh.
Drugs. Sex.